Hello everybody and welcome back to Knaveswell Farm. So, it's one of those days where we don't have anything in particular to do except for reseeding fields, which is not exactly the most fun job ever, but it does need to be done. So I think, at least to begin with, no, I don't want to do that, weird. No, to begin with, we need to reseed field number 19, I think it is, and then we'll see how we're doing for time. If we're doing okay, then I think we'll probably get the sprayer out. That is probably not what a lot of you want to hear, but it does need to be done. There are so many fields which need spraying. So at least one of the fields today is going to be planted, and we're going to plant most likely wheat or barley, because it was canola before, or oilseed rape I should say. But the seed drill is here. It's a direct drill. So we'll get that attached, and I'll try and get out of here. You can probably remember from a few episodes ago, it was a challenge getting it in, even harder getting it out I think. And we might as well reseed it because it is quite a big field. It most likely will use everything in here. And I think I might go for barley actually, because wheat is something we do quite a lot of. So there we go, filling it up. We can actually use the big bag mod for that, and I probably should have done. If it had been empty, I would definitely do that. Next time, we will do. Because field number 20, I think it is, needs doing as well. Yeah, field number 20. That would be for a different day. Some of these fields I'll probably seed off screen because, you know, it's going to get boring after a while. Just turn the mirrors on, so they should be working from in-cab view. And before I forget, I need to change the crop type to barley. There we go. We couldn't do canola again because that is the crop that was in it before. However, field 20 could be oilseed rape. For those of you who aren't familiar with the crop being called oilseed rape, basically it's what it's called in the UK. Possibly in other countries as well. For whatever reason, it does tend to go a bit laggy around here, so apologies if that looks really bad. I don't know why it does it. It's only this section of the map which goes laggy. I'm going to start just over here. I think I will keep four-wheel drive on because it's not exactly a dry field. For example, over at the entrance there is a load of mud, so we're going to need it. This field is smaller than field 20 though, and it's also full of weeds, so at some point I'm going to have to spray this off. The spraying off in field 20 did a big favour for us. In fact, I think, if I just get out here, yeah, they've all shriveled up and died. So it definitely pays off. But yeah, this field is just as bad. We'll spray it once it is planted. But I'm certainly not planning on doing this every episode this week, because that would be horrifically boring. Today is hopefully going to be the only day. That should be working okay. And this is a reskin drill. I think it is just a reskin of the base game drill, the Vardestad. But this is the Sulky Maxi drill. I've just been looking through the response from yesterday's video, and it seems to have gone down pretty well. If you haven't watched it, basically we were going to transfer it to Ventonwin Estate, but that didn't really work because there is some kind of synchronising issue. So we had to do it to Mulroy Bay, which is in Donegal. And that is obviously a really good thing for those Irish fans and everyone who is a fan of Irish maps, because, you know, I don't really do enough of maps like that. So although it wasn't planned, I think, in my opinion, it's still a really good thing. because I tend to just do maps based in the United Kingdom. So having something Irish is definitely good. Very good for the channel. And it looks like, although I can't confirm this is just from me reading various different articles about Farming Simulator 17. It looks like the base game map for 17 is actually an American map. So I will definitely be doing that. I'll definitely be doing a Let's Play on that. So if you are a fan of American maps, then definitely look out for that if it's going to be based in the USA, but I can't confirm it. But yeah, once you're going, it does seem to get through this job quite quickly, because we're doing it at some speed, and it's not exactly small, the implement on the back. If we were doing it with that really small pottinger, then yes, it would take forever, because you'd also have to cultivate the field first. Having a direct drill is definitely beneficial. But yeah, this is not going to take all episode. I guarantee you of that. I think we'll have to do the spraying as well though. It's just something that has to be done. Soil mod has actually just updated because I've just skipped the night time. The previous episode was dusk. So things have updated. The fields have updated. And I should probably have a bit of a crop walk and have a look at each crop. I never know with the air sound, because you know you can hear that high-pitched air sound, if you know what I mean, because it's an air drill. I never know what game volume to have it on, because that can sometimes be quite a dominating sound. It can be quite overpowering. So that is why I've dropped it down to 20%. Hopefully that is enough. It might be too quiet, not sure. It usually comes out different every time I edit, which is really weird. Sometimes it's really loud, other times it's not that loud. I'm not sure what would affect that, but yeah. It can make it quite hard to choose the right game volume. But I've got my printed off soil mod reference sheet, which is downloadable from FSUK. It's very handy. And this basically tells you everything you need to know about soil mod. But the thing I'm looking at today is what type of herbicide I need to spread on or spray onto this field. And basically you've got A, B and C, and you've got double doses, so double A, double B and double C. And because we're putting barley into the field, it means we can use herbicide B or C. We can't use herbicide A. I'm guessing it will actually kill the crop off if we use the wrong one, or maybe it just won't be effective. It might just not work at all. But yes, I think probably, well, the fertilizer sprayer has actually already got C in it, I think, so we'll probably just stick with it. C is like a universal herbicide. You can't use it with, you know, root crops, but you can use it with cereals and oilseed rape. So yeah, I think C is the one to go for. It's relatively universal. You can also use it with alfalfa, clover, rye, oat, rice and oilseed rape. That's just me reading the spec sheet here. So yeah, it's not a bad one to go for. But yes, basically from now on every field is going to be planted before we harvest another one, because we're kind of doing seasons now on Knaveswell. And then at the end of the series we'll do one massive harvest where we harvest every single field, which might get a bit repetitive. I'll probably have to do some time lapses of some fields, but we're going to really go for it and see how much money we can make by the end of the series. The series will most likely end at episode 50, in case you're wondering. Right, we're almost done, and that is a good thing because we have almost run out of diesel. Didn't realise the tractor was so empty. So yeah, once we get it back to the yard I will refuel it. And then I think the, well, yeah, I'm guessing the row crop tyre tractor is going to be required. I think in real life it wouldn't matter if you just use like standard tyres on a field you just cultivated or planted. It's just, yeah, in Farming Simulator it remembers where you've been. So if you use really fat tyres to begin with, the crops aren't going to grow where you drove the first time. So yes, we're going to have to use the row crops even though it might look a bit weird. There we go, that is that side done. And then finally, we just need to do the headlands at the bottom. And actually, that didn't take as long as I was expecting. I thought it would have been like a half an hour job, but it's been like 15 minutes I think. So pretty good. And there we go, we are finished. Now when we get up to the top, obviously we'll fold it up, but when we're driving back on the road, I desperately want to see, well, field number 10 mainly, because field 10 was the first one we planted, and it should be the nearest to a ripe state. So yes, I can't wait to see it. Let's get that folded up. And let's head back through the mud. Better put diff lock on. And I mustn't forget to refuel. Very important. A few people have asked what happens if you run a tractor out of diesel on Farming Simulator. Well, I don't think it's anything spectacular. I think basically the engine stays running, but it won't move. That is, from what I remember, at least that was what happened in FS11, because that is the last time I run a tractor out of diesel. I'm guessing it's the same for FS15. I might be wrong. The engine might go off completely. Not too sure. But yes, it's not spectacular. You don't need to bleed the system before you can run it again. Ah, this looks pretty ripe to me. So that, oh wow, it looks like a bit of a mess. That is the first field we did. Clearly not been keeping on top of the herbicide because it's full of weeds. We could still spray it off if we wanted to, but if you look at the nutrients, they're actually really good. It's a bit, there's quite a high acidity for the field, but the nutrients are really good. They're fantastic. So if we harvest this soon, then we're going to get maximum profit out of it. But having said that, we do need to wait for some other fields to be ripe. So it's going to be quite tough. I should probably slow down time a bit actually, because yes, this could be tricky. But anyway, that is good news. Glad to see that, except for the weeds, which is not too good. So we have ripe, not so ripe, and nowhere near ready. They're our 3 field states. Right, I'm going to put this into the shed. Again, we're going to have to do my horrific, but sometimes quite lucky reversing. I say lucky because last time it was total luck that I got it in the second time. This time might not be quite so lucky. It's worth another shot though. It's definitely helpful with the steering wheel. And I don't think we had the John Deere there before, which is making it even harder. Just watch the front wheel, it's not so bad. Close, I think it's probably in the shed again, so I wouldn't say that was perfect, but at least it's in. Let's refuel this, and then over to the 512 FENDT, I think it is. Right, so that is filling up, the money is dropping, but luckily on Knaveswell we can afford it because we've sold a load of silage. And last week we did more silaging, so if we ever need the money, it's in the yard, which is really good to know. This may take a while. There we go. So it's full once again. We can put this away for another day. But we do need to get the sprayer out. It shouldn't take long at all. Oh, I did put the combine back as well before this episode. Yeah, that can go there. Switch the engine off. Jump out the door. I think I put it down here. It should still be on the pit. Yes, I can see the trailer. There it is. So obviously we don't want the trailer left up here. Let's just put it here in this bay. I can't put it anywhere near the pits because it doesn't let you. Basically the tipping trigger comes up instead of the detach trigger. But the sprayer, let me remember where I put it. It can't be too far. We're going to need the booster pack though. Well, I call it the booster pack. That sounds like a battery pack. No, the expansion tank on the front. It's basically the extra capacity storage tank, I guess you could call it. So get that as close as possible. Let's just make sure it's all on there. And then we'll press the buttons on the side of the tractor and attach it. We're going to have to spin around and get the other one on the front. But to do that, we're going to need to put the front link arms down. So it's that one there. You can see it's quite light on the front wheels. So it can get through it quite quickly. So I am going to top them up. So it's 100%. And we're off. All full. We're ready to go. Having row crop tyres on might be a bit tricky when going through the mud because they're going to dig in deeper. We should really get some hardcore and fill these in, but unfortunately you can't do that. Not just yet anyway. I think we're going to have to just try and stick to the side of it, put diff lock on, four-wheel drive and floor it. Yeah, flooring it with row crop tyres doesn't work too well. But we're through. Okay, so let's unfold our rear sprayer. And I need to be quite careful with the tram lines here. So I'm going to go straight down the right hand side, do the longest side of the field first of all. And when I get down here, I'm going to stop. I'm going to change direction without turning with it switched on, because I think that's what you do. Might be wrong. Yeah, if I stop it there and change direction, because we don't want overlap either, because it'd be way too strong. There is a bit of overlap. Interesting, I've just seen some like red weeds over there. Not sure what they are. They're growing inside the field. And back up this side, and then we'll do the centre. Yeah, I think the row crop tyres do suit this tractor quite well. It doesn't look horrific. It looks pretty good. I think if you had them on the 820, it would look a bit weird. But with this tractor it's not so bad. Not sure if turning there was the best thing to do. And now the centre part, and we should have enough fertiliser, I would say, or spray chemicals. Yeah, it's not fertiliser. Why do I keep calling it that? We should have enough herbicide to finish the field. I think if we go down here, then head across to the left-hand side there, we should have enough width to do it all. If we don't, it's going to be really bad because it means we'll have two tram lines really close together. needs to be slow so we don't overlap too much. And somewhere up here, pretty much perfect. It's not wide enough though. Actually that is wider than I thought, so it's not going to be too bad. And if I can stick to these tram lines in the future, then the crop destruction will be to a minimum, and it should look pretty good when it's all grown as well. And that gives you a good idea of what it's going to look like. So yeah, the tram lines aren't perfectly straight, but it doesn't really matter too much. The fact that we're not overlapping too much, and well, we are here, but we couldn't really avoid it, yeah, that there aren't too many tram lines, it makes it okay. We're almost there. That is actually it for today. I won't do any seeding tomorrow, I promise, because yeah, it's not the most fun job to watch, although it does have to be done. But I'm not going to repeat myself. We're going to have to try and think of another job to do. But yeah, I'm going to head back to the yard with this, and that will be it for today. Just goes to show, if you follow the lines perfectly, you don't actually destroy anything else at all. Wow, this is bumpy. This is really bumpy. We're not going to have to come here again though until it's time to fertilise, which should be probably a week or two. And as this is now our main spraying tractor, we might as well keep all the kit on it. I'll put it in the shed here on the right hand side, and it can stay there until we need it again. Oh, and there's the tow chain. I don't know if we'll need that again. If we get stuck we will, but it shouldn't be something we need too often. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Until next time, thanks again and see you again soon. Bye for now.